So Nick Bobotis is ready to kick off here for Bedford. The deep players for Goffstown are Jonathan Teixeira, as well as Sean Leahy. There's the kick, and it gets by Teixeira. He lets it roll into the end zone. We're going to have a touchback. So Goffstown will begin play at the 20-yard line with a full 12 minutes to play in this quarter.
You know, Harry, you mentioned that other matchup between Merrimack and Nashua North. That game is being played basically in a mud bowl because it's grass, it's wet, it's muddy. So it's nice that in this game you've got a little bit more sure footing on the turf here in Bedford.
Bedford High School, of course, maintaining a terrific facility here, one they could be quite proud of. So a tight location formation here. Hinault decides to hand it off. Number 22, Colby Putnam, and he gains 2 yards on that play. That was an unusual formation. They had everybody clustered together. Almost looked like the formation, a victory formation when you were kneeling.
Or a goal line formation. Yeah, you can't get much tighter than that. And that's one way to be sure that you don't make a mistake early here on the first possession.
And the same setup again. Everybody tight together. And there's a pitch to number 43. That's Jeffrey Hager, and he moves the ball up for a decent gain. He gets it all the way up to the 28-yard line, so it'll be a very manageable 3rd and 2.
Yeah, big play here to start. The battle of 3rd and short is huge in any playoff game. Bedford's going to try and get off the field and hand the ball over to Thomas Morgan in the offense.
It looks like the rain has let up quite a bit, so 3rd and 2 here, same tight formation for Goffstown, and a pitch back. And second effort by number 33, Jack Stimmett, got the Grizzlies the first down right there.
Yeah, Harry Laguyon got some good penetration there and got a piece of the ball carrier. But you're right, that second effort was really impressive, and he dove for the first down.
He was able to bounce off the initial tackle attempt there and got 1 yard extra for the first down. So they're at the 31-yard line, 1st and 10. And a pitch. And a carry, number 26, Joshua Juneau. Great carry there. Might be enough for another first down to the 41-yard line, and it is. So some strong running there by the Grizzlies.
That ball squirted out there at the end of that play, Harry, but of course the ground caused that fumble, so Goffstown retains possession.
So 2 first downs now for the Grizzlies as they're able to move the ball down the field. They started at the 20-yard line. They are at the 42. Their own 42, and once again they're working out of that very tight formation. Motion, pitch back, and Juneau is brought down. Brian Toscano had his hands on him in the backfield, but Juneau was able to move forward for about a yard gain.
Yeah, nice tackle from behind there by Toscano. Looked like he tried to force a fumble, but Goffstown held on well.
Yeah, Juneau, I saw that. Toscano reached in, tried to dislodge the ball, a wet ball, but Juneau was able to retain his grip. So it'll be 2nd and 9 here from the Goffstown 43. The Grizzlies in that same tight formation. An inside handoff, no room there for number 33. Is that 39. Schmidt, 39? Joshua Picard, was that the number of the ball carrier there?
It was 39, yep.
So another about a half-yard gain there.
That's the danger with that tight formation. You got all 11 Bedford defenders in close because of it, and there's just no room to operate on that
No,
carry.
absolutely nothing there. So now we're 3rd and 8. And a pitch back. And number 33, Stimmett is going to be tackled short of the first down by about 3 yards. So Goffstown at their own 49-yard line. We'll see what they decide to do here, if they decide to go for it, and it looks like they are. So 4th and 3 from their own 49. Tight formation and motion. Number 81, false start. That was Jared Heidenreich. Jumped the gun.
He did. I saw some movement on the Bedford line as well.
They're going to call it a false start on Goffstown. That's going to move them back 5 yards. That was a misstep that they didn't need right there. So now it's going to be 4th and 8 from their 43, and Justin Huff, the coach of the Grizzlies, decides to kick the ball away.
Yeah, huge penalty there. I mean, we talk about turnovers, but the next big thing is penalties. And 4th and short changed their entire strategy there with that 5-yard penalty.
So a high snap, and the punt is away. And Lucian Mampini decides to let the ball roll, and it takes a Goffstown roll all the way down to about the 10.5-yard line. So that's where the Bulldogs will begin. Goffstown able to get 2 first downs. They tried to go on 4th and 3. A false start moves them back 5 yards, and they decide to punt it away. So Bedford with the stop on the first Goffstown possession. They have 8:01 to play here in this first quarter. No score.
And, of course, that's the last thing Goffstown wanted on that play was that penalty. However, good start in terms of the field position battle to get Bedford deep in their territory, inside their 10-yard line.
So Goffstown ran a tight formation, all running plays. Bedford goes with a spread, 4 receivers, 2 on each side, and Toscano in the backfield. Thomas Morgan in the shotgun, handoff to Lagulan, sweeping right. He gets by one edge, finally brought down by a host of tacklers there for Goffstown. Benjamin Dodge, number 7, was one of the tacklers there, bringing the ball down at the 14-yard line. So we're going to call that a gain of about 3 yards, or
8.
I'm sorry, 8 yards. I'm sorry, they started at their 5-yard line. My mistake. So an 8-yard gain there for Lagulan. Handoff this one to Mampini, and he gets pulled down in the backfield. Great solo tackle by number 10. That's Jonah Lopez, one of the freshmen who's starting for the Goffstown Grizzlies on defense. And the loss brings Bedford back to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, they lost 7 on that play, Harry. Gave back almost everything they'd gained on first down.
So here we go on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 9 for Bedford. 3 receivers, Mampini in motion. A fake to Toscano. Now Morgan's got to run for it and decides to just take the loss. That's going to count as a sack, I think. Was that behind the line of scrimmage? That was down at the, at the 3-yard line. So Morgan, I guess, decided to play it safe, not to put the ball up. Decides to take the loss, running out of bounds. So that's going to count as a second sack for the Grizzlies. And now Bedford has to punt.
Yeah, risky play there. Morgan was in the end zone, had pressure, and did well to escape that pressure and avoid a safety.
And Tom Crowley's all the way back to his end line. Not a lot of room to operate.
We got a flag down. We got contact with the punter.
Number 12, Jonathan Teixeira is the receiver for Goffstown. He got it back for about 4 yards up to the Bedford 28-yard line, 29-yard line. But let's see what this penalty does. Are they going to call a roughing the kicker or just an incidental?
Either way, I think Bedford should accept the penalty. The official just signaled that he was waving off the flag call. I'm surprised about that because I saw the contact with the punter.
Perhaps there was they made contact with the ball, which would negate the contact with the punter. So the flag is picked up, and now Goffstown is in terrific field position. They're on the Bedford 29-yard line with 6:40 to go here. Back in that same tight formation. And a handoff to Stimmett. He picks it up about 3 or 4 yards. He gets it at the 26-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, that's what Goffstown's hoping for with their backs who are crisscrossing. And Bedford is challenged to try and figure out who they're going to hand the ball to. And Stinnett got a little bit of room to operate there.
There's a pitch back to Stimmett. He runs into a crowd and is able to gain about 2 yards there. He's down to the 24-yard line. Small victories for the Grizzlies. 3rd and 5 on the 24-yard line.
Actually,
they're marking him down at 26, so it'll be no gain.
You got to figure this is 4-down territory as well.
Well, the weather certainly improved. The sun actually peeked out there for a moment, and the rain has stopped momentarily. So conditions are favorable right now for the Grizzlies. Now 3rd down and 7 from the 26. Pitch back to Janot again. Or to Stimmett, I'm sorry. And he picks up about 4 yards, maybe 5. Gets it to the 21-yard line of Bedford. It's short of a first. They had to get to the 19.
Looks like Goffstown's going to go for it on 4th and short here and opt against a long field goal attempt.
We're not familiar with how competent their the field goal game is. So rather than try to a kick that would be about a 35-yarder, they're going for it on 4th down and 2. Looking to the sideline for a play call. Henall takes a snap. Stimmett, it looks like he's going to be short. He only picked up a yard there. Bedford holds once again. It'll be Bedford ball on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, big stop there for Bedford, facing 4 consecutive runs, and they hold Goffstown short of that all-important 10th yard.
They seem to be running more or less the same play. At least 3 times in a row with the pitch back to Stimmett. And this time he was short of the first down by a yard. So Bedford takes over now. 1st and 10 with 4:40 to play here in the first quarter. No score. And as a pitch out to Toscano. And he's got some room to run and accelerate. He picks up 13 yards right there. Gets it all the way up to the 33-yard line. First down, Bedford.
Good to see Toscano get a carry there, and he got a full head of steam. Strong run there for a gain of 14.
And now 1st down again. Spread formation. Mumpini in motion to the right. He takes the handoff and runs into a bunch of blockers, but not before he picks up about 5 yards up to the 44-yard line.
Harry, not surprisingly, you can tell that both teams have the run attack as prominent in their game plans, but as you mentioned, the weather's cooperating now, so let's see if Bedford goes to the air at all during this possession.
So there's 3 wide receivers to the right, but it's a handoff to Toscano up the middle. He finds a hole, it breaks 1 tackle, and he's going further, gets all the way down to the 45-yard line in Goffstown territory. Tackled by number 26, Josh Juneau. Saved the play for the Grizzlies, prevented Toscano from getting even more yardage.
Pick up a 15 there for Toscano.
So 1st and 10 from the Goffstown 45. 3 receivers to the right. And Morgan decides to throw one to the flat quickly to Mumpini. He's up the sideline, gets by 1 tackler. He's got room to move. He's at the 10, the 5, touchdown. Touchdown, Bedford. 35-yard pass play.
Great block out there.
45-yard pass play. Sorry about that.
Great block out there by Donahue. Sprung Mumpini up the sideline. And that first pass attempt paid off.
Yeah, it was a very low-risk pass to the flat out to the right. And Mumpini found a lane. He got blockers in front of him and found the sideline. Was able to move all the way to the end zone. So now Matty Lucantoni with the extra point try. There's a snap. It was high, but brought down, and the kick is good. So on their second possession, the Bulldogs march down the field at the 3:19 mark of the first quarter, and they score on a 45-yard pass play to Lucian Mumpini, and they're up 7-0.
Nice job on that hold by Ethan Van Heerden. The snap was a little bit high, but he got it down for Lucantoni, and Lucantoni waited patiently and proceeded to knock through another extra point. She's had a great season doing that. Almost automatic.
You're watching Bedford playoff football against the Goffstown Grizzlies here on BCTV 23, and you're listening to WBNHLP Bedford 105.1. We welcome everybody watching, especially the fans on Goffstown television who are getting the simulcast off the Bedford channel. Hope you're enjoying this broadcast, and you're probably much more comfortable sitting in your living room or listening in your car than being out here, although the rain has stopped momentarily. Here's the kickoff by Bobotis. And received at about the 8-yard line. And the tackle made at the 21-yard line. I believe, let's get the number on the ball carrier. Was that number 12? It was, and that is Jonathan Teixeira, his second return of the game.
Bedford playing with a lead now, and Goffstown's got 80 yards to go if they want to tie this up. So after seeing Bedford score on that first pass attempt, it'll be interesting to see if Goffstown actually goes to the air here.
Well, the conditions certainly favor opening the attack up, although I guess their formation is slightly wider. It's not quite as bunched up, but it's still fairly tight. And there's a pitch back for one. We're trying to get the number of the carrier there. That was number 26. Juneau on the carry there, picked up 1 yard up to the 22, so it'll be second down and 9. Under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter, 7-0 Bedford up. Lots of other playoff action going on today. We got the boys soccer final, or is it the soccer? Yeah, it's the final at the brand new Penman Field at SNHU.
That's tonight at 7 o'clock.
So if you have time, make sure you catch that. Pitch back now to Stimmett. He breaks one tackler in the backfield, but he's able to move forward, picks up about 2 yards up to the, we'll see where the spot is. It's either the 23 or the 24. They'll put it at the 24-yard line. So now it'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Grizzlies at the 24. Other playoff action today, too, is girls volleyball. They're going to be playing a final at Pinkerton Academy against Hollis Brookline. That's a 5 o'clock start. That's indoors, so you don't have to worry about the weather. There's a snap. And a handoff to Stimmett. No gain. So it'll be 4th down and 7 at the 24. That was, Henal really got the ball to Stimmett in a very covert way. I mean, I didn't even see the handoff.
Yeah, it was a quick draw, and he rolled out to the right, but he'd already handed it off. And I've got to think that next possession he'll roll out with the ball on one of those plays to try and throw it down the field, because the running game just isn't moving the chains for Goffstown.
So that was a very tricky snap on the punt for number 57, the punter. That's Eric Lefebvre. And he wasn't able to get his foot into it, so Bedford is going to get great field position. The ball is down at the Goffstown 38-yard line with 1:09 left here in the first quarter. Bedford in prime position to put together another scoring drive.
Yeah, that'll go down as a 14-yard punt. And Coach Stank, I think, has got to be really happy with the game plan from Goffstown, because they're just running it up the gut. And you know, he talked on our show today, this morning. We interviewed him. He talked about the strength of Bedford's defensive ends, and they've shown their stout run defense throughout this first quarter. Yeah,
Justin Huff of Goffstown is just trying to challenge that Bedford front to no avail today. So 2 receivers, 1 to each side. 2 in the backfield, Mumpini in motion. Now Morgan, he rolls out, looking for an open receiver. Now he's got to escape. There's a flag down, probably a hold there. There's a throw over the middle. It was intended for Lagulon. That missed everybody, but we'll see what the flag is. It could be a holding on Bedford. Waiting for the signal from the officials. It's a face mask call, and it's on Goffstown. Break there for the Bulldogs. So I guess one of the linemen must have reached up and got his hands in the face mask of one of the Bedford blockers.
Yeah, and that's too bad, because it really was a free play for Bedford, and Laguyon had a couple steps there. You know, Morgan was facing a little bit of pressure when he let go of that throw, but you know, he missed the open man. He's going to be disappointed about that.
Well, I wonder if Morgan even realized it was going to be on Goffstown. Usually when that happens, the way that flag came down, it's almost always a holding call. You rarely see a face mask on the defense, but such is the call. And the ball is moved up to the 32-yard line. It will be first down from the 32, the Goffstown 32, with Bedford enjoying a 7-0 lead. We've got 1 minute to play here in the first quarter. So Bedford, receivers on either side. Mumpini in motion, but the handoff is to Toscano, and he finds a gap, and he finds an opening. He's heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Toscano. Bedford on the board again.
32-yard score there for Toscano. I think he went in untouched. He got some open field there in where the linebackers were, and then he just found a lane to the left and scampered in for 6.
So with 51 seconds left, it's 13-0 with the extra point try coming up from Luke and Tony. Waiting for the snap. It's a high snap. And Van Heerden couldn't get the ball down in time. He's tackled. So extra point, no good. 13-0 is your lead for the Bulldogs here with 51.7 seconds to play.
Yeah, that snap was even higher than the first one. Of course, the ball being wet today, that was a tough one for Van Heerden to try and get spotted up in time for Matty Lucantoni. Just wasn't able to do it.
Yeah, that was not on Lucantoni. That was a high snap that Van Heerden did his best to get down. But I think when the ball is snapped up that high, it really throws off the rhythm of the play. And it takes all his concentration just to get the ball down. And the ball was probably wet and probably didn't land on its tip. It might have landed on its side. So nonetheless, a 13-point lead for the Bulldogs as Bobotis is ready to kick it off again. That short field Bedford was able to capitalize on. Here's a kick that bounces at the 8-yard line. And it's carried out of bounds by Goffstown, trying to get the number of the ball carrier there. I think it was number 4.
Yep.
That was Sean Leahy, the ball bounced to. So Goffstown will begin at their 16-yard line, much longer field to work with this time. And as you mentioned earlier, they've been running the ball exclusively, no passing plays yet, but with the rain stopped, perhaps we'll see them open up their offense a little bit on this possession. Trying to get you an updated score from some of the other playoff action around town. We'll try to do that for you. There's a snap, and keeping it on the ground is Goffstown. We'll get the number of the ball carrier. Number 26, Junot, was the carrier, and he picks up about a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, almost every play we've had Junot starting in the left side of the backfield, cutting towards the right. And number 33, Stinnett, starting on the right side of the backfield, cutting towards the left.
We have a score from Londonderry. It's no score between Pinkerton and the Lancers after the end of the first quarter.
0-0 Merrimack.
And if the ball is loose, we'll see who's got the ball. Bedford recovers at the 16-yard line. So another miscue for the Grizzlies puts Bedford in even better field position. Didn't catch the Goffstown running back with the fumble.
I thought it might have been number 10, Evan Cuddy.
Was it a fumble, or was it just a mishandle on the handoff?
He had it for a minute. So he actually, we've got, is it Jonah Lopez as number 10? We have 2 number 10s on this roster.
So here we go. Bedford in the 4-receiver set, 2 on each side. Toscano in the backfield, and Morgan in the shotgun. He has to run and decides to just punch the ball down. And you can hear the Goffstown coaches yelling for a grounding penalty, and we'll have to see what the officials say. I think they might have a case here, and they do. The officials throw the pass, throw the flag. It is going to be intentional grounding. the Goffstown defenders just broke right through. Morgan had almost no time to find a receiver. He had a run, and he decided to just throw it away at the last minute. Unfortunately, the officials are going to call that grounding.
Yeah, it's going to be a significant loss for Bedford on first down there.
Probably at least a 10-yard loss. It's a spot of foul, right? Plus loss of down. So
that's right.
Where are they going to spot the ball? At the 33-yard line. So yeah, huge loss there. 16 yards. So it'll be second down and 26 probably. But the time has expired here at the end of the first quarter, where Goffstown, or the Bulldogs, leading 13-0 over the Grizzlies of Goffstown. Are they going to allow them to run a play here because of a penalty at the end of the quarter? I believe that might be the case because they are huddling up. So even though there's no time on the clock because of the penalty, there'll be a free play here to finish up the first quarter. First and 22 to go, the ball on the 33. Three receivers to the right. Morgan rolls out to his right. He's got room, but now he's being chased. Throws the ball away this time, but not a grounding. It was in the direction of Lucian Mumpini. So it'll be second down. I guess it was. It wasn't a loss of down. So second down and 22 from the 33 for Bulldogs, and that will do it for the first quarter.
Yeah, I just don't think they've updated the scoreboard there yet for that play because the official signaled the loss of down. So I'm expecting it to be 3rd and 22 when we come back. Got some stats for you, Harry. In that first quarter, Bedford ran 7 times for a net of 63 yards. Toscano had 3 carries himself for 61. So he was really efficient. And of course, Morgan went to the air and he had 1 completion for 35 yards to Mumpini for the touchdown.
Toscano with 709 yards on 111 carries during the regular season, 14 touchdowns. He's just been the workhorse for this Bulldog squad. Your scoring update, it was a 45-yard touchdown pass to Lucian Mumpini, the first pass of the game for Thomas Morgan. With 3:19 to play in the first quarter, that put Bedford up 7-0. And then Ryan Toscano, as you mentioned, a 32-yard touchdown run. The PAT no good, a mishandled snap there by Van Heerden, a high snap at the 51-second mark. And that made it 13-0. So here we go. We're lining up to start the second quarter. Bedford's been running out of the spread set the entire game, in contrast to Goffstown's very tight formation. 3 receivers to the right. Toscano in the backfield, Morgan in the shotgun. He drops back. Throw over the middle, and a diving catch by Lucian Mumpini. The officials say it's a good catch at the 10-yard line. So first and goal from the 10 for the Bulldogs.
A great diving catch by Mumpini there. Ball was a little bit underthrown, but made a great athletic play to come back and get it.
So now first and 10.
Not a first down.
Oh, it was a 3rd and 3, I'm sorry. And Morgan keeps it, takes it down to the 5-yard line, gets it to the 4. So despite the throw, that was not enough for a first down. That run by Morgan had to make it official. So he gets it down to the 4-yard line. Now it's first and goal for the Bulldogs.
That's right. It was that catch by Mumpini made it 4th and 3, and Morgan picked up
3rd and 3 or 4th and 3?
It was 4th and 3.
Thank you very much. A little bit of confusion here. So a handoff to Mumpini. He runs into tacklers and he gets ragdolled down by Cuddy. Evan Cuddy with the tackle for loss all the way down to the 10-yard line. So 6-yard loss there for Bulldogs on the first down play.
Yeah, it's the second big carry for a loss by Mumpini. Goffstown's got that play scouted out pretty well today.
So second down and goal from the 10-yard line. Snap back to Morgan. He's being pressured, but he finds an opening over the middle. A throw for Lagulon is broken up nicely by number 7. Benjamin Dodge was right on top of him, didn't let him anywhere near the ball. He just knocked it away.
Yeah, that throw was just a hair behind Laguyon, who was running to the left. right in the front of the end zone.
So it'll be 3rd and goal from the 11 for Bedford. Bulldogs, the Grizzlies defense, stout so far. 2 wide receivers to each side. Morgan with the snap. The delayed handoff to Toscano. He's got an opening and he bowls his way forward. We'll see what the call is. I think they're saying he was down at the half-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they've got him marked inside the 1. So it'll be 4th and goal, and you got to expect Bedford's going to go for it here and try and punch it in.
So 4th and goal from about a half-yard out. We'll see what the play call is here to spread the offense. 2 wide receivers on either side. Morgan decides to keep the ball, and he goes around the pileup in front and gets the touchdown. Morgan with a 1-yard carry for score makes it 20-0 or 19-0 right now. We're waiting for the extra point.
Yeah, just went off the right tackle there after kind of reading the coverage, and he saw he had an opening, and he was able to get into the end zone untouched.
So here's the extra point. Try another high snap, but this time they're able to get it down. Luke Cantoni missed it this time. So 2 missed extra points there in a row. And the score is 19-0 Bedford with 10:06 remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, that kick just barely left of that left upright.
I mean, she gave it a gallant effort to get that kickoff, but again, I'm not sure what's up with the snaps on these extra points, but Van Heerden needed to reach up each time to pull him down.
Assuming Bedford's able to finish off this victory today, that'll be one of the areas of focus for Coach Stank and practice leading up to semifinal action next Saturday.
Well, we still have a long way to go here, even though Bedford's up by 19 right now. So they come out of the huddle to get ready for the kickoff. Updates from other Division I games. No score in either Merrimack and Nashua North. And also Londonderry and Pinkerton, no score. And then we have the Salem-Winnacunnet game. That's going to start at 3 o'clock today. So here's Babotis with the kickoff. The high kick, but short. Oh, that was a tricky play. That was a little lateral there. Number 22, Colby Putnam. He received the kick at the 20-yard line and then pitched it back to Sean Leahy, but that pitch was a little tricky, and Leahy had a one-handed, pulled it back in.
I like the idea, but certainly risky, and I'd like to see, from a Goffstown perspective, I'd like to see a little bit more of that risk-taking on offense.
I wonder if Justin Huff's heart skipped the beat there.
Probably.
So here's Goffstown again on offense from the 32-yard line. Tight formation. Juneau brings the ball up. They're going to give him forward progress to the 36-yard line. So that's a gain of 3 for the Grizzlies on that play.
Nice spin move by Juneau to make something out of nothing.
But they've been keeping it on the ground. No throws so far by the quarterback, Jared Hinault. So 2nd down and 7 from the 36. Still in that tight formation. And a handoff to the initial handoff. They faked a few afterwards. Trying to get a number there. Number 70. Can you get that?
Number 77, Joshua White.
That's unusual. So White loses a yard there, and it'll be 3rd down and 8 from the 35-yard line, their own 35 here. 9:01 remaining in the second quarter. Bedford up 19-0. And here's the 3rd down play once again in a tight formation. It looked like it's a tackle for loss, number 24, Christian Bourgeois. It looked like a miscommunication there because Hinault turned to pitch and his pitch man wasn't there.
Yeah, it looked like a broken play there, and Bourgeois made a great sack and took advantage of the miscue by Goffstown.
So a loss of 3 yards on the play. It'll be 4th and 13 for the Grizzlies. Nothing much going right for Goffstown today. With 8:19 to go, they're ready to punt it away. Number 57 is the punter, Eric Lefebvre, and I believe Lucian Mumpini is back for Bedford. There's a high snap. Lefebvre pulls it down, though, gets a pretty good punt away. Mumpini catches it at the 41, gets away from one blocker, changes direction, gets away from another, pulling tacklers all the way down to the 45-yard line, the Goffstown 45-yard line. So another good drive start for the Bulldogs here with 7:57 to play.
14-yard return there from Mumpini, really well done, making tacklers miss. And Bedford's going to start in Goffstown territory.
The Athletic Booster Club encourages all Bedford families to consider joining the Booster Club and getting involved for all sports. For more information, visit their website, www.bbabc.net. So first down and 10 for the Bulldogs. They're at the Goffstown 45-yard line. And the officials set the ball down and will begin play. Two wide receivers. Mumpini in motion, but it's a fake to Mumpini. Morgan keeps it and gets forward for about a 1-yard gain, gets it to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, the fake to Mumpini there, but Morgan didn't have much of a hole. Goffstown defenders held their ground on that one.
Latest update in the third quarter with about 3 minutes to play. It's still no score between North and Merrimack. And the handoff to Lagoulon. He gets pulled down. The ball comes loose momentarily, but he looks like he falls back on it. Picks up about 6 yards on the play. They'll be down. He'll be called down at the 38-yard line. So it'll be third down and 2 with 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter.
Yeah, big hit there. And
correction, third down and 3.
Big hit there on Laguyon, but he'll pick up 6 and set up 3rd and 3 for Bedford.
3 receivers to the right in the shotgun, low snap, but Morgan's able to pick it up. Now Mumpini in the flat. He finds an opening and he finds a lane. He finds the end zone. Touchdown, Mumpini. No, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Still a huge gain there for Bedford.
Another 35-yard reception for Mumpini, his second 35-yard reception on the day. And once again, great blocking by Bedford. Laguyon as well as Donahue.
It was a pass behind the line of scrimmage out to the flat, and Mumpini, like I said, followed his blockers and found a lane along the sideline. Unfortunately, he got a foot out at the 3-yard line. So it'll be first and goal from the 3 for the Bulldogs. 1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left. And a pitch over to Toscano. Oh, he gets tripped up, and they're going to say he's down just shy of the goal line. They're going to call it a 1-yard line. So 2-yard gain there for Toscano. And a player injured. It might be Toscano. Oh, it's one of the linemen here holding onto his thigh. Or his knee, not sure which. It's number 71. Torrey Helton is the Bedford lineman who's down, being looked at here. He was slapping his thigh. I wasn't sure if he's indicating a cramp or a thigh bruise or if it's his knee. Trainers are on the field right now to check on him. While we have a moment to talk about some of the other games going on today. As we mentioned, boys soccer at 7 o'clock tonight. That's the final. And can you tell me who they're playing tonight?
Central.
They're playing Central, so a big rivalry matchup there. That's a 7 o'clock start at Penman Stadium at SNHU. Helton is up, which is a good sign, heading for the sideline.
Chris Gentry noticed on the replay there that one of the other Bedford linemen, Toscano fell on Helton.
So that's what what caused the injury. So, yeah, Toscano's a big boy. He's going to hurt when he lands on you. So here we go. 6:07 left to go. Second down and goal from the 1-yard line. We'll see if Morgan calls his own number. He usually does that in these short yardage situations. He's in the shotgun. Snap, nope, goes to Toscano, who bulls his way into the end zone. Touchdown for a second TD of the game. Ryan Toscano, 1-yard plunge for a Bulldog touchdown.
Really nice cutback by Toscano. He's headed to the right, and then he cut it back up the middle and got to pay dirt.
So 4 straight scores, 4 straight possessions for the Bulldogs. And Goffstown falling behind quickly here. We'll see if the extra point can be completed today, this try. Snap is good, and so is the kick. Luke and Tony with the extra point, and that makes it a 26-0 game for the Bulldogs.
So that's the 4th touchdown of the day for the Bedford offense. 3rd one on the ground. 2nd one for Toscano. That gives him, he's got 6 carries for 74 yards and 2 scores. Not a bad quarter and a half, Harry.
Not at all. Now, if you're Justin Huff and the coach of the Grizzlies, what do you do now? You're down 4 scores. Are you going to keep running out of that tight formation, or are you going to start opening things up?
I certainly am not. I mean, we can, say it ad nauseum, but you got to go to the air at some point. You're down 26. You really have nothing to lose.
There's a lot of time, but yeah, you got to start moving the ball, and they haven't been able to move the ball yet. So now Bobotis is ready for the kickoff. There it is. Kick goes. Oh, it's fumbled by number 12, but picked up, and he's carrying it, still looking for an opening up to the 25-yard line. Number 12, that is Teixeira for Goffstown. Able to pick up that loose ball momentarily. He does get it up to about the 21-yard line.
Andrew Twite finished off that tackle for Bedford.
We mentioned the finals for the boys soccer. It's the girls volleyball finals today at 5 o'clock at Pinkerton Academy. They will take on Hollis Brookline for the Division I volleyball title. We hope you have a chance to go out there and check that out. That's where Mike Robinson is, by the way. He'll be attending that game. Well, Goffstown staying in that tight formation. And a pitch back to Janot. He picks up about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8 up to the 28-yard line.
The other thing here is the wind is picking up a little bit, but it seems to be mostly at the back of Goffstown as they move right to left. So that shouldn't stop them from throwing either.
Right, the forecast called for winds from the west, which would actually favor Goffstown right now. It would be at their back, but they stay in the tight formation. The ball is dropped on the ground momentarily, but Janot is there. Johnny on the spot to pick up the loose ball, but it's going to be a no-gainer.
Bedford, on the other hand, is certainly content with these play calls.
I mean, I can understand if they're trying to set up Bedford, trying to draw them in tight and then open up with a pass, but this is their sixth possession, and they have yet to throw a pass, so one of these days you've got to open it up. Tight formation again, and it's a handoff up the middle, and buried is number 34 for the Grizzlies. That is Brad Baxter, I believe. And that turns into a loss of 2 yards. So now it'll be 4th down and 11 from the 25-yard line. Goffstown's got to punt again.
I'll give Hinault credit, the quarterback for Goffstown, for his deception. It's hard to tell if he has kept the ball himself or who he has handed it off to. But with everybody right in the middle of the line, there's just the deception isn't paying off.
And the punt, it's fumbled. And it's picked up, let's see by who, by Bedford. Oh my. Who was that? Number 23 with the recovery?
Jack Jones.
That was a close one. Now the punt by Lefebvre, Mumpini decided to call a fair catch at the 40-yard line. And maybe the wind was moving the ball around. It wound up hitting Mumpini on the shoulder pad, bumped straight up in the air, landed on the ground, and Jones was Johnny on the spot once again to pick up the loose ball.
Yeah, it may have been just enough of a gust there right before he caught it to have it deflect off of his equipment.
So no harm there from the fumble recovery. Bedford takes over on their own 40-yard line. With 3:53 left to play, they're up 26-0. And handoff to Toscano. He changes direction as soon as he gets the ball and picks up 10 yards in the process, gets it up to the 50-yard line.
It looks like they may mark him just a few inches short. Second and short will give him 9 on that.
So the wind is really picking up. We can see the breeze swaying the trees in the distance. So throwing might be a little tricky here for the Bulldogs. We'll see if they keep things on the ground. So second down and about a half yard, 3:18 to go here. They're just shy of midfield. Under center, Morgan calls his own number and picks up about 3 yards. So first down Bedford at the 47-yard line of Goffstown.
Nice play call there by Bedford just to move the chains.
Now Morgan heads to the sideline to get the play call. And the sun is about to come out, which is surprising. We weren't expecting to see any sun today, but blue skies are about ready to open up here at Bedford Stadium.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it if you're just tuning in now, but in the pregame, it was a downpour.
So now on a sunny Bedford field, the Bulldogs with receivers on either side. Mumpini in motion. He takes the handoff and cuts up. Gets around the corner. He's got a lane. He's got one man to beat. He's at the 10. The 5 brought down from behind by number 7, Benjamin Dodge. Saved the touchdown right there, but a big gainer for Mumpini.
Yeah, they're going to mark that at the 6. So that'll be a 41-yard rush for Mumpini.
Mumpini just showing his speed. He finds another gear when he turns the corner.
Yeah, that's a real weapon to have. And they use it a lot with those reverse plays and handing it to him in motion.
So in the shotgun is another handoff there. Nope, at the keeper by Morgan. He gets into the end zone. It's a touchdown there for Thomas Morgan. A 6-yard scamper. He keeps it. He fakes it to Lagulon, and he's able to hold on to the ball and carry it in for another Bedford touchdown.
Morgan with some nice deception of his own on that fake handoff to Laguyon.
And now the extra point try. That's a good snap, and the kick is good too. Oh, it's missed. So it was wide of the goal. So the score will remain 32-0. After a Morgan 6-yard touchdown run. 2:01 remaining here in the second quarter. And the Bulldogs are up 32-0.
Well, you're right, Harry, on that possession. Bedford didn't even need to go to the air. Their ground game has really been excellent today. We'll get you some updated stats at the half. But they didn't even need to throw to get that 5th touchdown.
So we're ready for another kickoff. And it was a short kick. Goes out of bounds. They're going to call an illegal kick there on Bedford. So the ball will be spotted, I believe, on the 35-yard line.
Goffstown one last chance here to try and score in the first half. Good field position. Just over 2 minutes to go.
So the Grizzlies are on the sideline now, talking over things with coach. And they've got 2 minutes here to try to put something together. They have not had a successful drive since their opening drive where they were able to get two first downs. It's been 3 and out ever since. So back again to the tight formation. At least the sun is out. It's dry out there. And a handoff inside. Number 77. is the ball carrier. That's Joshua White for Goffstown. Gets it up for about a 5-yard gain to the 40-yard line. Goffstown back to the line of scrimmage here. 2nd and 5. Pitch back to Janot. He gets it up and brought down just shy of the first down marker. He gets it up to the 44-yard line. So another yard to go on 3rd down for the Grizzlies. 1:20 to play here in the first.
Yeah, 2 good plays to start for Goffstown, but now the clock is running against them as they still haven't gotten to midfield yet, and we're almost at a minute to go in the half.
They still have all their timeouts. You would think they would call one of these, or if they at least went to the air, an incomplete pass would stop the clock. So pitch back to Janot. He goes up the middle. He'll have the first down and a little more. Moving players, showing some power there. Gets it into Bedford field position. He gets it out to the Bedford 47-yard line. So the first down since the first possession for the Grizzlies. And they have it in Bedford territory with 46 seconds to play. Not calling a timeout. I don't know what they're waiting for. Letting the clock tick away here. They're in Bedford territory. In tight formation. And finally, we're going to see a pass. Hinault rolls out and he misses. Number 10, is that, which number 10 is that? Is that
Evan
Cuddy or... they're going to say that's Cuddy because we have 2 10s on the roster here. 28.5 seconds remaining. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 47. So it took almost the entire half to see the very first passing play by the Grizzlies. They ran it out of the tight formation. Now they've got a spread formation. 2 receivers on either side with the running back. Number 4 in motion. Hinault down the middle. And it's connection. Touchdown. Number 7 with the reception, Benjamin Dodge. So just like that, with 21 seconds remaining in the first half, it is a 47-yard touchdown play, Hinault to Dodge. And that gets the Grizzlies on the board at 32-6.
Yeah, finally, nice play there by Goffstown. They went with a play fake and a nice throw on that post pattern by Dodge, and Bedford just couldn't quite catch him there. He had enough speed to get into the end zone.
And they're going to go for 2 here. Running out of the tight formation, it's a handoff, and nothing happens. They got barely a yard. Janot couldn't find the end zone, so it's going to remain Bedford 32, Goffstown 6, with 21 seconds remaining here in the second quarter.
Well, we'll see if Goffstown changes their attack in the second half, but that spread offense certainly worked on that play. You got to figure they would go to that to try and get back in this game.
Well, the Bulldogs hadn't seen a pass all game, so I guess that, changing things up was a good move there.
Yeah, Bedford will have plenty to talk about at half with the way that play unfolded.
So now we're finally going to see a kickoff by the Grizzlies here, number 38, teeing things up. That's wrong roster. David Gibson, the kicker for the Grizzlies. He sets things up, and Donahue and Mumpini are back. And it's a short kick, and it's going to go almost out of bounds, but Lagulon picks it up. It was in a dangerous spot. It kind of bounced up in the air, and Lagulon had to make a play for the ball and run out of bounds, so he takes it out at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, really nice play by Lagulon there, running backwards just to make sure he got to the ball first, and it looked like he was going to tip it out of bounds if he had to, but he was able to secure it on his way out.
That was kind of one out of the Bedford special teams playbook, those pooch kicks. So it was a high looping kick heading for about the 35-yard line, which kind of handcuffed the Bulldogs. So now we're going to resume play here with 20.8 seconds remaining. They're on the 32-yard line, their own 32. Receivers 2 on each side. Lagulon in motion. It's a handoff to Lagulon. He breaks one tackle. finds an opening, breaks more tackles, still going on his feet, breaks another tackle, and finally brought down at the 43-yard line. So about an 11-yard pickup there for Lagulan. Clock is running, 6 seconds to go. Nobody's calling timeout here, not sure why. And it looks like the Bulldogs are content to just go to the locker room with a 32-6 lead here after a half. Is number 38, David Gibson for the Grizzlies. Bedford will receive, moving from left to right.
Another pooch kick.
Another pooch kick, and that's going to go out of bounds. And Bedford will get the ball, I believe, on the 35. Is that where they mark it?
That's right.
Okay, so a good drive start for the Grizzlies. No time off the clock. Looks like the North and Merrimack game has gone to overtime. Ready to kick off there. We'll keep you updated on that score. Bedford, assuming they win this game, will face the winner of that one.
Starters still in on offense for Bedford.
As you would expect in a big game like this. I mean, if it were a regular season game, you might see some backups, but starters still out there. 3 receivers set. Morgan with a pass out to the flat. Almost intercepted by number 9, Levesque. Oh, he read that play perfectly.
Yeah, that was sort of a long pass, and Laguillon was backpedaling in the left flat there, and it just turned into too much of a risky pass that almost turned into a pick 6.
It was a pass behind the line of scrimmage. It was a similar kind of a wide receiver screen that they scored with Mumpini earlier in the game. But no, the Levesque, he just read it perfectly, and the ball bounced out of his arms, so Bedford dodging a bullet right there. And the wind is picking up here. And there's a pitch to Laguillon, an inside pitch. He's able to pick up 3 yards, gets it up to the 38-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 7 from the 37-yard line.
So 3rd and long here for Bedford.
That's got to shake you up a little bit when you realize the bullet you just dodged there. You had almost a pick 6 there for the Goffstown Grizzlies.
Definitely a wake-up call.
So they're in the spread, 2 receivers on either side. Toscano in the backfield, Morgan in the shotgun. Waiting for the snap. Goffstown looks like it's going to blitz. There's a delayed handoff to Toscano, but Goffstown is there to drop him for a loss, back down to the 31-yard line, and the Bulldogs will have to punt it away.
Yeah, so that play worked well in the first half, the delayed handoff to Toscano, but Goffstown read it well on that. They
had the blitz coming on that play, so they were all in the backfield to meet Mr. Toscano with the ball. So 10:49 to play now, and Crowley is ready to punt it away, standing at about his 18-yard line. And for Teixeira, for the Grizzlies, he's back at around his 37-yard line. High snap, Crowley pulls it down though, gets a good kickoff into the wind, and it falls short. The wind definitely held that punt up. Bounces at the 42, and it dies at the 39-yard line. So Goffstown will take over with 10:24 to go here in the 3rd in fairly decent field position.
That'll go down as a 29-yard punt, Harry.
You could really see the wind stopping that ball. The wind is blowing from the right to left at a pretty good clip. They're expecting gusts up to 40 miles an hour today. So here's Goffstown running that tight formation once again. They did throw out of it once, so we'll see what happens here. There's a pitch back to Janot. He finds the seam and gets up to the 42-yard line, so a gain of 3 for Janot. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
That's the same play they ran on that 2-point conversion attempt. And the challenge there is when Hinault pitches it, he then becomes a blocker, but more than anything, he just clogs up the lane. And Janot really didn't have much room to operate.
So under 10 minutes now, they come up to the line of scrimmage, staying in that tight formation, almost like the victory formation. Everybody bunched around Hinault. Pitch back to Janot. And again, no room to move. His own players and Bedford players crowding the lane. So it's no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Well, this next play call is going to tell us a lot. It looks like Goffstown is substituting in some wide receivers, so they are going to open it up on 3rd and long.
Well, the Grizzlies do have the wind at their back. Taking their time here, getting set up. Looks like they're going to have 3 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. And Hinault is in a shotgun, takes the snap, throws it to his right, intended for number 81, Benjamin Sylvain. No, sorry, wrong roster, my bad. That was Jared Heidenreich. He was the intended receiver, but the pass is off the mark, and the Grizzlies will have to punt it away.
Yeah, the tough thing there about that pass attempt was even if Heidenreich had pulled it in, he would have been a couple yards short of the 1st down.
Yeah, he was only going to get about 6 yards on that play. So snap back to Lefebvre, gets the kickoff. Mumpini is just going to let that bounce. Rolling, and looks like it'll die out at the 17-yard line of Bedford. And that's what they'll take over with 8:56 to play in the 3rd quarter.
41-yard punt there. Goffstown took advantage of the wind behind their back, but now they've got to try and come up with another stop. They haven't been able to get back-to-back stops yet, but that's what they're going to need here to try and stay in this game.
So judging by the video screen, it looks like that overtime game is still going on between North and Merrimack. Bedford is in the 4-receiver set, and we've got a flag. Could be a false start on somebody.
Looked like Joshua Picard may have moved on the line.
No, it was motion. You're right. It was an encroachment on Goffstown, so they give the Bulldogs 5 free yards.
Yeah, Picard jumped early there and made contact with the Bedford line. So now it'll be 1st and 5 at 22.
There's a handoff up the middle by Ryan Toscano. He picks up, I guess, 3 yards on the play.
Yep, they're going to mark that at the 25, so it'll be 2nd down and 2.
Oh, it was a 8-yard carry. Sorry about that. That's right. Started at the 17-yard line. So 2nd down and 2. Spread formation. Toscano in the backfield. Snap. Fake to Toscano. Instead of throw. Wide open. Number 11, Green. He's got a lane to the end zone. Just one man to beat. 10-yard line, 5, and touchdown. Touchdown Bedford, Timothy Green. He was wide open over the middle. Morgan found him, and he turned on the Jets and scores from 75 yards out.
And while that 75-yard play was taking place, Merrimack scored a touchdown. And we can see them celebrating in their end zone. They're gonna face the winner here next Saturday.
that was a sudden death victory right there. North doesn't get another possession. I'm not sure if they do it like the college style. It is a final. Merrimack wins 6-0. So, assuming Bedford hangs on here, they're in a 2-point conversion right now. Morgan, the throw across to Donahue. He got the pass, but he got tackled short of the goal line. So the 2-point conversion no good for Bedford, but they've got a 32-point lead, 38-6, with 8:09 remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, that was a nice long strike for Bedford. They've got to feel great about that play.
And that was a breakdown on defense. The Grizzlies, I guess, were just watching everybody else and left that middle open.
Yeah, the pass was only about 10 or 12 yards down the field past the line of scrimmage when Green caught it, but there was no one around him. Teixeira was the only defender for Goffstown with any chance, but he had to come from the left cornerback position to try and come all the way across and catch Green, and he almost did, but Green was able to get it in for the long touchdown.
So Bedford up 38-6 now with 8:09 to play in the third quarter, and Bobotis is ready to kick it away. And the kick comes down at the 22-yard line. There's a pitch back for Leary, and he found a seam along the sideline, but gets knocked out at about the 37-yard line. That was initially picked up by Cody Putnam and then pitched back to Leary, and he was able to pick up about another 10 or 12 yards. So Goffstown will begin at the 38-yard line, their own 38, with 8:02 left to play in the third. And the Grizzlies come from the sideline. We'll see if they change things up here and they go to a passing formation. They have 32 points to make up now in about a quarter and a half. I can't imagine them up. No, they're in the tight formation once again. But it's a pass play. A throw out to 43. And he picks up about 8 yards on the play. Let's get the number. The name of that number, 43, is Jeffrey Hager. So Goffstown comes out passing out of that tight formation.
That's what they had to do. You know, that's what we were waiting for in the first half, is out of that formation, are they going to go play action and actually go to the air? And
they have the wind at their back, so you'd think they would be trying to make more of that advantage right now. So it'll be 2nd down and 2 from the 46-yard line. Again in the tight formation. We'll see if they throw it again. No, it's an inside handoff to their big fridge, number 77.
Yeah, that's Joshua White again, his 3rd carry, I believe. He's listed as a lineman. He's been playing more of a tight end type role today.
He gets it into Bedford territory. They get it down to the 49-yard line. Coming up on the 7-minute mark of the third quarter, 1st down Grizzlies. Down 32 points, 38-6. Once again in the tight formation. And a handoff for Juneau. He looks like he picks up a yard there.
Just nowhere to go.
I was taking a look at the backfield, the defensive backfield for Bedford. It seems like they've got more players off the crowd in the front. Like the front 7 are up tight, but the defenders are further. The pass defenders are further back, just out of caution, in case there's a passing play there by the Grizzlies.
Yeah, that may have been something that Coach Stank talked about at halftime, is getting that secondary ready for the inevitable play-action pass.
6:11 to go here, 2nd and 9 from the 48-yard line in Bedford territory. Here's a passing play, a throw, and Hinault was hit by Andrew Twite and number 71, Torrey Helton there, and that pass just lands short of his intended receiver, so we're going to be 3rd and 9.
Pantelakos also there providing pressure, and that was a nice rush there by those 3 Bulldogs to disrupt the passing play.
So now the Grizzlies dispense with the trickery. They're in a spread formation now, 2 receivers on either side, 1 back in the backfield, and Hinault in a shotgun. He takes the snap and a throw over the middle, and a great catch by Leary at the 30-yard line. That's good for a 1st down.
He was upended there by Jack Jones, but able to hang on as he landed on his back. Really great play by Goffstown there. And
you can hear the Goffstown faithful here at Bedford Stadium making noise over that play. Quite a few of them came here to cheer their Grizzlies on. 5:50 to go now in the third quarter. Grizzlies with new life from the 30-yard line. Back into that tight formation now. And inside handoff to Stamets. He picks up about 5 yards, gets it down to the 24-yard line. Call that a 6-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, a little more creativity on that run. Hinault faked the pitch behind him to his left and then handed it off to his right. Of course, now Bedford has to be a little bit more honest defensively.
So an inside handoff to Janot this time, and he powers forward, picks up about 7 yards, gets it down to the 17-yard line of Bedford. Another first down here for the Grizzlies.
Well, this is the result of going to the air finally, that, you know, Bedford has to respect the pass, and they can't just crowd all 11 guys up close to the line of scrimmage to shut down the run. So the balance here is starting to pay off for Goffstown.
First and 10 from the 17. And a big pileup and a loss there. Got to get a number.
It was what Joshua White again.
The number 77, the big lineman. He gets dropped for about a 1 or 2 yard loss there. It'll be, we'll call it 2nd and 12 from the 19. 4:25 to play here. Trying to check on the score from Londonderry against Pinkerton. No update there yet, although we do have a final. Merrimack winning in overtime 6-0 over the Titans of Nashua North. So assuming Bedford hangs on, Merrimack will be back here once again in the football semifinal. There's a pitch to Juno. He's got a lane. Still moving. He's a powerful runner, taking a lot of blockers with him. And they're going to call the play dead at the 10-yard line. So it's a first and goal situation now for Goffstown. 12-yard carry, I believe, by Janot.
Yeah, he's shown that ability a couple times this afternoon to really move the pile. He keeps churning his legs and tries to fight for every yard he can, and he got some help from his teammates there to push the pile.
So the Bedford offense finally making some headway here, trying to add another touchdown. They got their first one at the end of the half. And not sure what happened there, but Torrey Helton blew up whatever they were trying to do. It looks like a loss. I'm not even sure who had the ball, but it's going to be marked down at the 12-yard line, so loss of 2 there. I'm not sure if that was Hinault.
Number 26.
Yeah, that was first and goal at the 5 before that play. They're going to mark it as a loss of 2, so it'll be second and goal at the 7.
Sorry about that. I can't keep my yard marker straight here. So yeah, it is at the 7-yard line. They were originally at the 5, not the 10, as I originally said.
A lot of lines on this field with the
I know.
soccer markings as well.
It is a little confusing. So an inside handoff for Stamets, or actually not, it's number 43.
Jeffrey Hager again.
And he gets no gain there. So 3rd and 8. Actually lost a yard there for Hager, so 3rd and 8. And it looks like they're going to go to a spread now with receivers. They're going to have 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. And Stemmet in the backfield with Hinault. Hinault in the shotgun. 2:12 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And instead of a pass, it's a handoff to Stemmet. But Bedford's not fooled. They bring him down at the 5-yard line, picks up 3, but now it's going to be 4th and 5, and I assume that the Grizzlies will go for it here.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep the offense on the field and go 4 wide again, and you'd figure they're going to have to go to the air here. I like that play call on 3rd with the spread formation to try and surprise Bedford on the ground, but probably going to go to the air here.
And he's right. A short pass intended for 26 at the touchdown. He's in the end zone, but the flag is down. That's Janot with the 5-yard touchdown pass, but let's see what the flag says.
I think they got roughing the passer on Bedford, so that'll be a decline.
That'll stand?
The play is going to stand.
So touchdown, Goffstown. A 5-yard pass, Hinault to Juno. And now the extra point try. And the Goffstown faithful are happy.
It looks like they're going to go for 2. Going to go for 2 here to try and cut the lead to 24, make it a 3-score game.
And a handoff to Stamets, and this time he has a wide open lane to the end zone. 2-point conversion good. Goffstown is now cutting the lead from 30 to 38-14.
So that's a 24-point advantage for Bedford. Of course, makes it a 3-score game.
So they're making it, they're definitely more competitive in this second half with the sun out, with the wind blowing at their back. But they'll be going into the wind in about 1:31.
Yeah, Goffstown really showing more than signs of life there offensively. That was a nice sustained drive where they actually mixed the run and the pass. And for the first time, kept Bedford defense on the field for an extended period of time.
We have our first report from the Salem-Winnicott semifinal. Salem is up 13-0. So the Blue Devils making some hay out in Hampton right now.
Harry, Bedford facing a kickoff here from the 45. Looks like they tacked that roughing the passer penalty on to the kickoff.
And it's an onside attempt that has to roll. That was an interesting play. The ball was moving at a snail's pace, and it had to go 10 yards. Well, it had to go 10 yards before Goffstown can touch it, but Bedford could make a play on it. Instead, they waited for the ball to go 10 yards, and they jumped on it. Luckily, they were able to retain possession. So they're going to take over now at, what are we calling here? Are they going to make them kick it over again?
No, what happened was it actually hit one of the Goffstown players before it went 10 yards. So they're going to mark it there at the 43, where it first made contact with Goffstown, and that's where Bedford will start.
Okay, so good drive start for the Bulldogs. Onside attempt didn't work out there for the Grizzlies. Probably should have saw that coming. So in the shotgun, Morgan facing the wind. And a bad snap and a fumble, and it's recovered by Goffstown at the 38-yard line. Janot falls on the snap that bounced off of Morgan's hands. And just like that, Goffstown gets the ball back. So they failed on the onside kick, but instead Bedford turns the ball over on a fumble. And now the Grizzlies are back in action here with 38 yards to go for another touchdown.
Well, that's exactly what Goffstown needed. First turnover of the game. And wind did play a factor. You know, right before that snap, I actually noticed that when the official marked the ball started to roll before Bedford even snapped it. So I think that wreaked havoc on the snap in the shotgun formation.
Goffstown in the spread. Here's a pass. He's got a man open, number 7. Oh, he almost had that. That was Benjamin Dodge who cost the other touchdown pass today. That one hit him right in the numbers, and he might have been able to score if he had hung on to that ball. Instead, he drops it at about the 15-yard line. So incomplete pass, 2nd down and 10 from the 38-yard line.
Yeah, and of course Dodge was backpedaling there, and you can, if you look up in the direction where he was looking,
the sun might have been in his eyes.
The sun might have been in his eyes, which of course would not have happened in the first half. So Bedford catching a break there from the weather.
So now out of the spread, the handoff to Stemets, he's able to pick up about 3 yards up to the 35-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 7 for the Grizzlies.
But you go back to that first down play, and I really like that play call. They finally went down the field on first and took a chance and almost got a big play out of it.
So instead of, it'll be a 2-yard play, second it'll be 3rd down and 8 from the 36-yard line. Goffstown staying in the spread, 1 back, 3 receivers to the right. And Hinault in the shotgun. Throw over the middle. It's intercepted by Bedford at the 26. And returned to the 38-yard line. Number 59 making the play right there. 59. Alexander Pantelakis with the big turnover back for Bedford. So they erased that initial Bedford turnover with one of their own.
That's right. It took almost 3 quarters, Harry, for the first turnover of the game to take place. And then we get 2 within the span of less than a minute. And a little bit surprising that we didn't see it in the first half when it was a lot wetter out there on the field.
So Bedford back in the spread formation. They erased the Goffstown scoring chance right there. Their handoff, and Morgan keeps it himself. He's up, goes up the middle, still moving, and he gets about 11 yards on the play. 1st down up to the Bedford 49-yard line. You know, it's something to think about how a play can turn. If Benjamin Dodge had made that reception, instead of he might have cut the score by another 7 points. Instead, on the next 2 plays, there's a turnover by Goffstown, and Bedford has the ball back, and now they're at the 49-yard line.
That's right. It could have been a 2-possession game.
So in the 2-receiver set, 2 in the backfield, out of the shotgun, Morgan hands it off to Mumpini, sweeps around, but tackled there by Stemets. After about a 4-yard gain, it looks like we have an injured player. Number 43 for Goffstown is on the ground. That is Jeffrey Hager.
He's back up now, holding his left arm a little bit.
So he got nicked there, but he's up off the ground, which is a good thing to see. That ends the third quarter. A lot more action in this one. 2 touchdowns by each team, 1 touchdown by each team, and the score is 38-14 Bedford with 1 more quarter to go. The winner will face the Tomahawks of Merrimack, who won their quarterfinal game in overtime after a scoreless regular game. They put up a touchdown in overtime for a 6-0 win.
Yeah, so in that third quarter, a victory of sorts for Goffstown to outscore Bedford 8-6. But of course, it's going to take a lot more than that here in the fourth to make this a game. They're down 24, so they need 3 touchdowns and 3 2-point conversions. And Bedford has possession here in Goffstown territory with a 2nd and 7. So great opportunity for Bedford here if they can get a good drive going here and score to really put this game away.
Update from Hampton. Winnicott comes back with a touchdown. It's now 13-7 with 5:46 remaining in that half. That's up in Hampton. Still looking for an update on the Londonderry and Pinkerton game. Morgan back to pass, a sweep out to Toscano. He's got a lane down the sideline, and he finally driven out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So about an 18-yard pass play there for the Bulldogs to start off that possession.
Yeah, that's Toscano's first reception of the game. And it gets Bedford into great scoring position.
Bedford running the no huddle right now. 2 receiver set, Mumpini in motion. Handoff to Mumpini, makes a cut, misses a tackle. He might have a lane here. No, he's brought down from behind. Janot with the saving tackle there, but not before Mumpini gets down to the 15-yard line. So another first down for the Bulldogs. Big chunks of yards here on each possession, each play.
A 14-yard pickup there from Mumpini.
So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Check that, 2 to the left. Morgan drops back to pass out of the shotgun. Has to move aside, moves again. Throw for the end zone, and off the hands of Green. I believe Dodge might have knocked that out of his hand. So that was a pretty good defensive play there by Ben Dodge for the Grizzlies, saving a touchdown.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that replay. It looked like he may have just deflected it a little bit, and then it deflected off of Green's hands.
So 11:22 remaining in the game. 2nd down and 10. Bedford at the Goffstown 16-yard line, threatening the score here in the red zone. There's a handoff to Mumpini, and he's brought down after about a 4-yard, 3-yard gain. Gets it down to the 12-yard line. We'll call it a 4-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 6. So Morgan getting the play from the sideline. Still in the 4 receiver set, 2 on each side. Toscano in the backfield. Morgan drops back into the shotgun, waiting for the snap. It's a handoff up the middle to Toscano. Immediately brought down by Janot for about a yard gain up to the 11. So it'll be 4th and 5. We'll see what the Bulldogs do. No, more than likely they're going to go for it here. I think with the wins, they're not going to risk a field goal by Luke and Tony, but instead they're going to call timeout here and talk things over. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, with 10 minutes and 25 seconds remaining here, Bedford has a chance to, if they go for the field goal attempt, make it a 4-score game. But they also have 4th and, not too difficult of a distance.
We've finally have an update from Londonderry. Gannon Fast, a 1-yard run with 8:06 left in the fourth quarter, and the extra point failed. Pinkerton up 20-14. That's in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes to play. So a timeout by Bedford, and Luke and Tony is out on the field. So they're going to try a field goal here. It looks like it's going to be a 27-yard attempt.
That's right. And if Luke and Tony can convert here, it'll be a 4-score advantage for Bedford.
Judging by the telltales on the goalpost, the wind isn't too bad right now. Let's see if that holds up. The snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. Luke and Tony, 27-yard field goal. Puts Bedford up 41-14 with 10:21 to play.
Great for Bedford to convert on that field goal. It's got to give the special teams a lot of confidence as you continue through the playoffs. That's a weapon that you've talked about throughout the season.
And that's something that most of the teams in NHIAA don't have, a reliable field goal kicker. And I'm not even sure if is Luke and Tony the only female player, varsity football player in NHIAA. Maybe at some of the lower divisions there might be one or two.
She's the only one that I've heard of, and you've got to figure she's the most prominent.
And she's a weapon.
She really is.
You know, she.
BG has a female kicker as well, we're told.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. So Luke and Tony puts Bedford up 41-14 with her 27-yard field goal. And now Bobotis is ready to kick off. The sun is getting low. The shadows are long here at Bedford High Stadium. Long kick goes back to Benjamin. And he carries it up to the 35-yard line. I'm sorry, that was Teixeira on the kickoff return. So Teixeira's return up to the 34. They're going to spot it. And with 10:15 left to play, Goffstown has got a lot of yards to make up. A lot of points. Down 4 scores with 10 minutes to play. 10:15 right now. The clock is running, or was running. I'm sorry. 10:15 is the time. I guess they're not in the run. They're not in a runtime situation right now. So back into that tight formation. The Grizzlies under center. Hinault takes the snap and a handoff up the middle. I think that was Janot with the ball. It's hard to tell. The players are so tight together. You have to wait for the pile to unwind. Yeah, yes, it was Janot. Thank you.
On most of these running plays by Goffstown, there's 15 to 16 players in a real small area, which really makes it tough for Goffstown to break off any big runs.
So a 1-yard gain there for Janot. It's going to be 2nd and 9 from the 36. Back in that tight formation, inside handoff. And the fridge, White, picks up about 5 yards there. And we have flags down on the play. Let's see what that call is going to be. The official is motioning like the play's coming back.
Yeah, it looked like illegal motion on Goffstown. So they're trying to figure out from Coach Stank if he wants to accept the penalty.
Because it would be a 3rd down and about 3 yards. Correct, illegal motion on the Grizzlies. And they're going to mark them back. So erase that run by White. They're back at the 31-yard line.
That'll be 2nd and 14. Same personnel on the field for Goffstown for that tight formation.
9:26 remaining in regulation time here. And Hinault decides to keep call his own number. He runs it up the middle and gets the ball up for about a 5-yard gain. Gets it to the 36-yard line. It will be 3rd and 8. Or 3rd and 9, I'm sorry. 3rd and 9. Clock ticking away. 9 minutes now remaining in regulation. Bulldogs up 41-14. Getting ready to host the Merrimack Tomahawks. They won their game in overtime 6-0. Goffstown back in the tight formation. Hand up the middle to White. The big lineman up the middle picks up about 3 yards. He's going to get it to the 39-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 6.
Figure this is 4-down territory again for Goffstown. Although,
nope, they're sending the punt crew out, and I'm a little surprised by this. I mean, the wind is gusting, and the punter Lefebvre is going to be punting into the wind. And the last time he had a punt going in this direction, the ball just stopped in midair. So we'll see what happens here. Those telltales on the goalposts are straight out. The snap, Lefebvre settles down, a low line drive kick that just dies. It just dies, and it finally goes out of bounds at the Bedford 46-yard line. So the net there is only about 15 yards on that punt.
yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go for it there. It was 4th and a manageable distance. Their passing game has had more success here in the second half.
The wind right now is a factor. That the gust during that punt was so severe that the telltales were absolutely horizontal on the goalpost. So maybe Coach Huff didn't feel comfortable trying to pass the ball in that kind of wind. So instead, Bedford, they stay in a spread, but with 2 receivers. Hand off to Toscano. He changes direction once he gets the ball and moves ahead for about 6 yards. Gets it up into Goffstown territory to the 49-yard line. So we'll have a 2nd down and 5 on this play. 5 or 6, depending on which yard line you want to go with, sort of in between the two.
That was one of the first power runs we've seen. More of a traditional run there for Toscano, just to get the clock moving and work towards another 1st down.
Now 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Toscano in the backfield. Coach Stan keeping all his starters out there today, despite the 4-score lead, 41-14. Morgan calling out some signals, waiting for the snap. Hands it off. No, he keeps it. Fakes the pitch to Green, decides to call his own number and carries the ball to the 35-yard line. That'll be a 1st down. I don't think that's the first time I've ever seen him do a keeper and then fake a pitch.
That was a really slick run there by Morgan, where he faked that pitch, like you said, and it froze the defense and allowed Morgan to pick up 13, make it 14 yards on that. They've got it marked at the 36.
And the more that Bedford runs, the more they can keep the clock running. And right now, they just want to see those seconds tick away. It's 6:36 to go now. They've got a fresh set of downs. They're on the 36-yard line of Goffstown, and they are in no hurry. Split receivers, 2 on each side. Morgan in the shotgun. Handoff. No, it's Morgan hangs on, and he does make the throw, and it's bobbled by Mumpini and recovered by Goffstown.
Yeah, that looked like it was a lateral from this angle. Not by much, but
it was the same play as last time. Morgan faking the handoff to I think Grogan was the runner this time. He was in there instead of Toscano. Moves around to the side, makes a lateral attempt to Mumpini. Mumpini couldn't handle it. Maybe the wind knocked it around, and the loose ball is picked up by Goffstown at the 40-yard line.
yeah, frustrating play there for the Bulldogs. It's the last thing you want is to turn the ball over in that spot.
So Goffstown with another opportunity here. 6:13 to play. They're on their own 40-yard line in the tight formation. A handoff to Janot. He tries to go on the outside, but he's swarmed by a whole bunch of Bulldogs who get him out after about a 1-yard gain up to the 41. Just under 6 minutes to play here in the game. Goffstown has got to put 4 scores up to win. So it's an awfully tall order.
They also don't seem to be in that much of a hurry here. They've really got to pick up the pace.
No, I agree. You would think they'd be throwing the ball and they would be in no huddle. But they seem to be taking their time, and they keep running out of that tight formation. They've had some success, but they don't have a lot of time right now. There's a handoff up the middle. We're going to have to wait till the pile unfolds before we catch the number.
34.
34 was the
Baxter.
running back. That was Baxter. He picks up about 2 yards on the play up to the 44-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, 3 yards and a cloud of dust just isn't going to cut it at this juncture in the game.
Under 5 minutes to play. Clock is ticking away on Goffstown season. They need to make something happen real fast. In the tight formation once again on 3rd down. Oh, great deception there. 34, Baxter with the ball. He's running down the left sideline and finally tackled at the 25-yard line. Now that was, Henall just, he completely faked everybody out by rolling to his right. And instead,
what Baxter did there was he got the handoff. He stayed in the middle of the field with his head down, and he stopped moving. So he acted like it was a fake, although he had it, and what he was doing was just waiting for the defense to shift, and then he bolted left and was able to pick up 31.
So a little bit of trickery there by Goffstown, making that tight formation work to their advantage, but they still need a lot of points in a short amount of time. Henall back to pass instead. Oh, he winds up fumbling the ball, although I think he might have been down. They're going to say he got the ball up to the 24-yard line. It'll be considered a 1-yard run there by Henall. He went back, looked like he was going to pass, and then decided to take the draw opportunity up the middle.
That's right. He didn't have a passing lane, and the pocket collapsed on him quickly. And Juneau looked like he picked that up.
2nd down. They're going to say 10, no gain. And there's an inside handoff to Stammet. He moves the ball up to, we're going to see the spot is at the 26-yard line. I'm sorry, the 21. They're going to call it a 4-yard gain. 3rd down and 6 with 3:22 to play. Bedford is up 41-14.
Goffstown picking up some momentum here, but they're running against the clock as we near the 3-minute mark in the 4th quarter.
Third and 6 from the 21 from the tight formation. Goffstown pitches it back to Juneau. He makes some tacklers miss, and I think he's got the 1st down. He gets it all the way down to the 13-yard line.
Guyon leading the way on the tackle there. Looks like he's shaken up a bit, but he's going to walk it off and stay in the game.
Salem up 27-7 at the half in Hampton over Winnicott.
Officials just blowing the whistle there as the ball started to roll to its right.
Yeah, that wind is stiff out there. So 2:35 to go. Goffstown in the red zone. Handoff to their big lineman, White. Bulls his way forward to the 7 or 8 yard line. Be a gain of about 6 yards.
For our radio listeners, that brings us to the 2:20 mark in the 4th quarter, and it's still Bedford 41-14. So Goffstown, nice sustained drive here, but they're going to run out of time here quickly.
There's no point at this point of hurrying. They're just trying to make it respectable now. They're at the 7-yard line, the 8-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 4. A pitch to number 39, fumble, and recovered by Christian Bourgeois for Bedford. He picks up the loose ball. That was Brad Baxter, I believe, who put the ball on the turf, and because of the turnover, Bedford will take over now at the 20-yard line with 1:46 left, and there are timeouts remaining, 2 of them left. I'm sorry, 3 left for the Grizzlies. I don't know if they'll use them, but they can certainly just kneel it out here if they wanted to.
Yeah, that's just going to about do it here in terms of the drama. Bedford picking up its
10th win.
10th win.
And Skilling is in there for Morgan to take. Now they're in the victory formation, and they took a knee. And it doesn't look like Goffstown is going to call any timeouts here, so we're just watching the seconds tick away. 1:30.
This victory formation by Bedford is not even as tight as the Goffstown standard formation today on offense.
That's the amazing thing. So Skilling in that quarterback is just waiting for the clock to tick away. And the Grizzlies are urging their fans that are here at the stadium. Teixeira waving his hands to get the crowd to give them a cheer. There's nothing to be ashamed of for the Grizzlies. They had a tremendous 6-game win streak that earned them a playoff berth to be here. Unfortunately, Bedford is just too strong.
Yeah, they finished the season well with those 6 straight wins, and then to come out here and after a tough first half, open it up, take a few more risks in the second half, and have 2 nice, long, sustained drives. They have a lot to be proud of.
We're under 40 seconds here. This will be the last kneel down. 3rd and 10. Skilling will take the last snap, and that will officially end the game for the Bulldogs. Still waiting for the clock to run. 20 seconds to go. Skilling takes the knee, and that's going to do it. And there's your final. 41-14 Bulldogs over Goffstown. And they will advance, and they will meet the team that they finished the season against 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, Merrimack. And there's your final. 41-14. And the band plays a victory tune, and the players greet each other, shake hands at the middle of the field. So Merrimack will be back here next week. We assume it'll be a 1 o'clock kickoff, although that could change. And myself and Andrew Hansen will be back here with the play-by-play semifinal action here at Bedford High Stadium.